Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Talent LMS webinar. We're very excited because today we'll dive into one of the most impactful learning paths in Talent Library, the human resources paths. These curated journeys are designed to build essential skills for HR professionals, recruiters, and L&D specialists. So from shaping HR culture and driving engagement to hiring inclusively and designing impactful learning programs, these paths offer practical training that strengthens people-first practices across every stage of the employee lifecycle. So let's do the proper introductions for today. My name is Irini, and I'm a senior customer onboarding consultant here in Talent LMS, and I will be hosting this session live alongside with my good colleague, Nick.
Yeah, thanks, Adini. Hey, everyone, I'm Nick. I'm the content curation specialist here at Talent LMS, and it's great to be a part of this session today.
And before we dive in, just a quick reminder that this webinar is being recorded and you will receive the recording by email once it wraps up. So feel free to share it with your team. And of course, we'll also running a live Q&A throughout the session. Yanis is in the background who will be answering all your questions during this webinar behind the scenes. And we'll also tackle some of them live. So just to ask a question, just hit the Q&A button in your meeting controls. Now, you may have noticed that Talent LMS looks a little different today. That's because we have rebranded. This isn't just a new look, it reflects our evolution as a product and as a company, and we're proud to share it with you. Inside the platform, you will see updates to the default sidebar, menu color, the default logo and favicon, and the default image when creating a new course. For customers who've customized their portal, no worries, your settings remain the same. These updates are about to make the experience cleaner, more smoother, and aligned with where Talent LMS is headed. And we're excited about this next step in the Talent LMS journey and grateful to have you with us as it unfolds. And with that said, let's explore our agenda for today. So first, we'll take a moment to discover who these learning paths are for and why they matter. We'll talk about the audience and the key topics these paths cover, from inclusive hiring to employee engagement and learning program design. Next, we will explore the human resources learning paths themselves. We'll walk you through how they're structured, what kind of courses are included, and how these curated journeys help teams build practical people-first skills. And finally, we'll show you how to manage those Talent Library courses. You will learn how to enroll learners, track the progress, and make the most of the platform's features to ensure a smooth learning experience. By the end of this webinar, you'll have a clear understanding of how to leverage Talent Library's HR learning paths to empower your teams and elevate your people strategy. And with that said, Nick, I pass the mic to you and the floor is yours. Nick, I think you're on mute.
It would help if it was unmuted. Thank you, Adini. Thank you. Just to give a little background as well from my side. Today's session is all about giving your people-focused professionals the essentials they need to thrive in HR. Whether it be recruitment and learning and development roles, from shaping an inclusive workplace culture to welcoming and retaining talent. We'll cover it all today. Before we start discussing the learning paths, what are they and what do they offer? The reasoning behind our learning paths was to create courses that are grouped into logical and sequential steps, or what we call phases. These phases enable you and your teams to conduct training in a more natural flow. So the value behind this, among many things, is efficiency and time savings. It's great for rolling out to HR departments, which provides a comprehensive package of courses and natural flow to the teams within. And it's not just that. Tracking employees' progress in their journey is easily done as well. All right. So I previously mentioned these learning paths. There are 3 of them. So let's put titles to each of them and who they're for. So the first one is our HR Foundations learning path, which is tailored for our HR generalists and assistants. Second is our Recruitment Fundamentals learning path for the recruiters and talent acquisition specialists. And lastly is our Learning and Development Essentials learning path for, you guessed it, our L&D specialists, and maybe even our junior instructional designers. Each learning path, is designed specifically for different roles that make up a human resources department. And finally, let's get to some of the numbers. In total, the entire human resources journey is filled with 7 hours and 15 minutes of content in total. And also, to sum it up even more, from our beloved talent library, our human resources learning paths are filled with concise, engaging courses designed to fit easily into busy schedules. Plus, since everything runs smoothly through our learning management system, Talent LMS, it's simple to assign content, follow progress, and tailor the learning journey. Something Idini will be walking you through just a bit later. And one last thing, one more little thing. Because it's a unified library, you're not stuck sourcing content from multiple vendors. These different facets of this human resources learning path are all located in one place. All right. So without further ado, let's take a look at our first learning path, our HR Foundations learning path, which again is designed specifically for HR generalists and assistants who are building their skills. This collection brings together 2 hours and 15 minutes of focused content, and again, all part of Talent Library. In this learning path, learners can move step by step through practical topics like employee life cycles, onboarding experience, hybrid work, recognition, retention, and inclusive HR practices. So a good bit of things there. And the beauty of this path is that it doesn't just cover the rules of HR, it also builds the mindset and culture awareness that makes HR truly human-centric. So let's now jump into these 4 phases of this learning path. All right. So HR, mindset, and culture basics. This is phase 1 of this learning path, and it addresses the essential workplace culture and mindset. This begins by learning about the 4 main types of company culture and how each shapes an organization. From there, we look at shadow organizations, those hidden dynamics that can quietly affect performance and morale of a company. And most importantly, explore ways to address these dynamics. So this phase also emphasizes the importance of balancing technology with the human side of HR, as well as how space, tools, and culture combine to shape this overall employee experience. So together, these lessons set the stage for building a strong, people-centered workplace. And that's phase 1. Phase 2 is titled Onboarding and Early Experience. And this is all about creating a strong first impression and setting new hires up for long-term success. It begins with strategies for building a thoughtful onboarding process that goes beyond introductions, ensuring employees feel connected and supported from day one. This phase also highlights ways for new hires to accelerate speed to competency, being able to step in more quickly into their roles. And finally, it addresses some of the unique challenges of hybrid work, helping leaders shape positive experiences for both in-office and remote team members. Overall, these courses equip HR and managers to build welcoming, efficient, and ensure alignment for the newbies just joining. All right, so employee engagement and retention. This is phase 3, and it begins with surveys, a powerful way to capture honest feedback and identify areas for improvement. Learners then dive into methods for measuring the employee experience, using key metrics to track satisfaction and predict retention risks. This phase also highlights the value of employee champions. These champions act as trusted voices and help strengthen morale across teams. And finally, it explores how recognition and reward systems can boost motivation and show employees their contributions are indeed valued. Collectively, these courses provide the tools to build a workplace where people feel heard, supported, and arguably, most importantly, inspired to stay. And rounding out this learning path, is our inclusion and fair practices phase. So by emphasizing and creating a fair and respectful workplace where everyone can thrive, it all starts with a look at the core values of equality, diversity, and inclusion. Learners then explore unconscious bias, uncovering the hidden mental shortcuts that influence decisions and learning strategies to keep them in check. With an overview of the different types of discrimination, it helps employees recognize unfair treatment in its many forms. Finally, it focuses on confronting discrimination, giving practical guidance on addressing these issues directly in order to protect well-being and model positive behavior. So together, these courses build awareness and accountability, laying the foundation for a workplace rooted in fairness and respect. And now we are moving to our next learning path, recruiting the right people. So recruiting the right people today takes more than just, posting a job ad and going through the Q&A of an interview process. Obviously, it's much deeper than that. It requires a clear strategy, a strong employer brand, and a process, of course, that's fair, inclusive, and engaging at every step. With that, next up is our Recruitment Fundamentals Learning Path, built for recruiters and talent acquisition specialists who want to sharpen their skills from the ground up. So these skills offer a complete roadmap to building a recruitment process that's modern, equitable, and built for long-term success. So let's get started now with the phases of this learning path. Phase 1, titled Planning and Branding for Talent Attraction. This begins with a clear recruitment strategy, aligning hiring practices with company values and EDI or DEI principles. So from there, learners explore employer branding and recruitment marketing to attract candidates. So this phase also emphasizes optimizing the candidate experience, ensuring that every interaction from application all the way to the interview creates a positive impression because, after all, both you, the company, and the candidate are evaluating each other, correct? So overall, this phase reveals strategies for hiring top talent, giving proven methods to find, engage, and secure ideal candidates. So at this point, now we know how to attract talent. So now we need to source and screen candidates effectively. And this is effectively phase 2 of this learning path. So here, learners examine sourcing channels and even a course on how AI-powered recruitment can streamline processes and enhance candidate interactions. Finally, it looks at leveraging analytics to track KPIs and make smarter, data-driven hiring decisions. So together, these courses equip HR professionals with modern strategies to source, assess, and secure not necessarily the best candidates, but the right candidates for your organization effectively. As for phase 3, we start off with integrating diversity and inclusion in recruitment. So selecting fairly and inclusively, from writing inclusive job descriptions to reaching underrepresented groups. So other topics that are covered include compliance and ethics, ensuring recruitment practices meet legal standards and uphold transparency. So from there, recruiters strengthen their skills with interviewing techniques that bring out the best in candidates and improve assessment accuracy. Finally, the focus turns to a course titled Hiring Right the First Time, avoiding costly missteps by aligning the right talent with organizational needs. All in all, these courses ensure a recruitment process that's equitable, effective, and built for long-term successes.
Nick, I'm going to stop you there. So before we move on into the next one, I have a quick question for you. What's the one takeaway you hope people remember from these last 2 learning paths?
One takeaway. Yeah, that's pretty tough to wrap it up into one takeaway, Irini, but it's a good question. But I think overall what we'd like people to gather from these first 2 learning paths is the ability to keep the HR process for the prospect and the new hire as human-centric and transparent as possible. So enabling this positive assimilation to the company, while also being able to utilize tools like AI and analytics to facilitate the process effectively. And also, I want to emphasize too that, with Talent Library, you don't just get access, to the courses. Here you also benefit from learning paths. As our team designed these to save you time from picking and guessing which courses might be needed, as we've organized HR training into clear sequential steps, so learners can build skills progressively and achieve the aforementioned intended outcomes. So maybe a little more than one takeaway, but I hope that answer helps a bit.
Definitely. So I guess that we can move on into the next path.
Yeah, let's move on. So finally, let's explore learning and development essentials. So with 2 hours and 15 minutes of engaging content, this path here connects learning strategy directly to business needs. Uh, the learners here, our L&D specialists and instructional designers, will explore everything from training needs analysis and learning design to adaptive approaches. And since they're facing a more diverse workplace than ever before, learning and development has to adapt to keep pace. This learning path motivates leaders to constantly rethink how they approach learning, from strategy and design to culture and measurement. So this first phase, foundations of L&D, of learning and development, this lays the groundwork. It begins with creating a learning strategy, showing how to align training with business goals for lasting impact in your company. Learners then explore reskilling and upskilling, identifying gaps and preparing employees to adapt and grow. The focus then shifts to defining learning objectives, ensuring training stays purposeful and measurable. Finally, with a course like removing the barriers to learning, this provides practical ways to clear obstacles and create an environment where employees can fully engage. All right, so designing effective learning is the second phase to this learning path, and this covers learning interventions that align with business needs. Such needs are covered in this phase by courses that includes insights into the benefits of blended learning and how adaptive learning uses AI to personalize training. This is concluded with UX and UI in learning, showing how thoughtful design creates seamless digital experiences, just like our Talent Library courses. But together, these courses help L&D professionals build modern and accessible learning programs. And finally, this last phase focuses on keeping learning alive through culture and data. Here, users can explore social learning, where knowledge is shared through community and interaction by creating workplaces where growth is continuous on a peer-to-peer level. Then, through our learning analytics course, learners understand how to use data to improve training and link it to business outcomes. Overall, these courses ensure learning remains ongoing, impactful, and is always measurable. This is very important. And that's it for the learning paths and their phases. I will now turn it over to my dear colleague, Irini, and she'll take it away.
Thank you, Nick. So let me just switch my screen. Okay, and I'm already logged in the Talent LMS platform because now it's the part where we will demonstrate how to manage those courses. But before I do so, you might be wondering about the actual courses that consist those human resources paths. And I have this for you. So our content team has prepared a PDF that will be shared with you all with the follow-up email of the recording, which will be sent out to you latest tomorrow, in which you can explore the different paths. So here we have the HR foundations, the recruitment fundamentals, and the learning and development essentials. You can see the audience, the learning objectives, and the different phases and the courses that consist those paths and the suggested order. So this is the takeaway that we will share with you once we wrap up. So let me minimize that and back into the platform. Now, one of the first things we need to ensure in order to access those Talent Library courses is that we have the Talent Library added in our subscription. You can easily find out from here if you click the subscription button. The talent library checkbox is here, so you can add it and then check what would be the cost. Of course, if you're interested of exploring those talent library courses first, you can definitely have a 14-day trial, but I will let you all know about this in a bit. So once we have the talent library added in our subscription, then as an admin, we will click the course store. So only administrators of the platform have access to the course store where they can explore all the talent library courses we have. So let me just reset this. So from here, you can see all the courses that we have. You have access to all the courses so far, plus the upcoming ones. And here on the side, we have the different collections. So for the human resources, you can also expand and see the subcategories. And of course, those categories work as filters. They will help you click and check the subcategory. And of course, the courses that you already have will be indicated with this green button. But if you don't have a course, you can click the Get This Course button to get them as a standalone course. Or if you click the entire category, this Get All button will appear where you can easily get all the courses and save time. Now, when it comes into the standalone courses, and let me just search a course from the first human resources path, which is the HR mindset and cultural basics, if I'm not mistaken. So let's search for the third course in line, which is putting some, we'll be using the search bar here, putting the human back into HR. So this is it. Now, if you want to see what this course is about, if you're interested on that one, if you click the view button, it will get you into the course info page. Now, through here, you can see the title, the description, and of course, there's an intro video, a trailer to preview this course and open the appetite, but to also allow users who don't want to read through the course description to decide whether they'd like to take the course or not. So this will be following the course. And of course, the Talent Library courses come with a SCORM file in 1.2 format. And the majority of those courses include a quiz as well, but not all of them. And they are mini courses, bite-sized, 10 to 15 minutes max on average, making them easy to fit into busy schedules and ideal for quick, focused learning that sticks. So let's see how I get this course. So what I need to do is um, click Get This Course. So right now this course has been added as it successfully says here. And now we'll go back to the list of courses and you see my course is here. Now, if I click on the course and click Edit, I can definitely customize the entire course. I can change the thumbnail image, the title. I can change the description and add my own if I want to. I can definitely click the add button and start adding content of my own, like my own videos, my own presentations, and use this talent library course as the foundation in which I will customize it in a way that it looks like it's mine from scratch. And of course, you can also add your own tests, your own assignment units, or even use the talent craft units and enhance the content even more. Now, one thing you should be aware of is that the talent library courses are active once you add them in your own course list. So they're available to assign right away into users. But one thing you need to keep in mind is that they're hidden from the course catalog. So if you allow users to self-enroll in courses, make sure to click the course options. And from the availability button, you can enable these courses to show in your own course catalog. And then the learners, will self-enroll as they wish. Now, apart from the content and the description, when it comes into customization, you can definitely do further setup. For example, from the completion tab, you can change the certificate. The talent library courses come with a certificate, but you can definitely remove that and add a certificate of your own. And of course, The duration will appear here, as well as the reassignment automation, as long as you add a duration, in case this talent library course will require repetition. And of course, if you have added your own content, you can definitely change the unit ordering from sequential in any order, or set up the completion rules. Definitely from the limits tab, you can add time limits or fixed dates. So you can set up an expiration date to those courses. And of course, from the info tab, you can definitely change the course codes, change the categories. By the time you add the Talent Library course in your platform, the category it belongs to will follow, but you can definitely change it and add it in a category of your own. Um, Good practice. If you try to edit the course, make sure to deactivate it first, just to be on the safe side that your learners will not be under construction. But how can I enroll users in the course? Well, if you want to enroll them in certain courses, the users button is here. And of course, at the moment, I'm the one enrolled as an instructor, but you can definitely click enroll to course and start adding your users one by one and enroll them in this course. So this is the list. And of course, definitely you can change the role for your instructors into learners as well if you want them to complete this course. Now, when it comes into tracking the progress of the users, yes, we have reports. So if I go to reports and go to courses, let's remove the search bar from here. Let's search for this course, putting the human back in HR. At the moment, I have 2 assigned learners. And of course, if I click, I will see the overview with the widgets, the metrics, the activity progress, the average course completion, then the users tab with the entire list of users that have been assigned to this talent library course. Of course, the learning activities, the score report will be here. And if you add your own tests or your own assignments, you will find those reports as well. The unit matrix and the timeline, exactly like with our own courses. And now, the best part. How do we build this learning path? Because right now, what I've just demonstrated is how to edit those standalone courses, how to add users in standalone courses. But what if you want to build this suggested learning path coming from our content team? Well, I'm really excited to show you this new feature that has been released since Monday. Of course, you may have noticed the rebranding changes. You see the side panel color has changed, the logo has changed, and there are further enhancements, which you will all know about with the newsletter this week. And a product webinar will follow the following week, where we will tell you all about it. But for now, what I'm really excited to show is something that we have been waiting for long, and a lot of our customers have been requesting, and it's the learning paths. It's a brand new feature that will allow you to build very direct and very easy a learning path and guide your learners into completing courses in a certain order. So if I click the learning paths button in here, all I have to do is just click add learning path. I can give this learning path a name. I can add a thumbnail image. I can give a description. And of course, if I want to add the courses, all I have to do is just click add course one by one like this. So I'm just randomly picking courses in here. But just to save us some time, I have already prepared the learning path from the HR Foundation. So I'm just going to click edit. So I decided to build the HR Foundation's Human Resources path, and I have selected phase 2, the HR Mindset and Cultural Basics. So these are the courses that consist this learning path. Of course, I can keep it as it is, and if I want to, I can assign it directly to learners. I have already assigned it to learners so far, but you can enroll more people one by one in this learning path. And then I can definitely build a brand new one. Or if I want to, I can use the sections. So if I want to create phase 1 or phase 3 or phase 4 from this human resources path, I can definitely give this new section a name like I have done here. And of course, once I hover, I can click Add Course and start adding the courses one by one and build a brand new section. When it comes into settings, yes, you can activate or deactivate the learning paths accordingly. You can add them in categories and in course and add course codes. You can add limits, a number of days that this learning path will be available for completion. And of course, the option of the access retention to allow those learners that completed it on time to jump in back again, regardless the expiration date is also available. And last but not least, the certificate. So you can assign a certificate for the entire learning path, again, with the duration available in here. And you can also decide if the courses will be completed in a sequential order or in any order, or all of the courses should be completed to complete this learning path. In terms of rearranging, it's very easy. All you have to do is just drag and drop. And that was it. That's our brand new feature and our method to create your own learning paths moving forward. Of course, as I said, more information will be shared to you with a newsletter this week, and the product webinar will follow. And and one last thing that it's very important. Of course, there are reports about the learning paths. So if you click on report, if you hover on reports, you will see a brand new button waiting here that will give you the metrics for the entire learning path. So if I click on the HR foundations, you can see the learners that have been enrolled in this learning path, the courses that consist this learning path, and of course the timeline. And if you want to have like a sneak peek of how this looks like from, the learner's perspective, let me get into Abby and oops, let me just find her from the users, and I will impersonate her right now. So right now I'm acting as Abby Steele. If I go to my training, you see the HR. Let me just find it. So I'm just gonna remove the category view. Sorry. Let's go from home. It has been recently assigned to her. We have been using this user a lot, so so let me just find the learning path. It will be slightly different from the standalone courses because it will look like it's a stack of courses. So this is it. This is the learning path. So the user will click the start. They will see the path they need to follow to complete those courses, and they can start the path right away. And let me just go back as an admin. And that was it from my end. So I guess that we can move on into the Q&A, Nick. What do you say?
Yeah,
And
let's do it.
I have a very first question for you. So let me just reset here. So the first question comes from our user named Jane. So the courses are about 15 minutes. Does that include the actual video content or the average time it takes a learner to finish the course?
Yes. Jane, a very common question, so I'm well versed to answer this. So the duration of each course basically represents the average time learners typically need to complete the course, including the quiz at the end. So from the time they click start on the first unit all the way to the quiz at the end, it takes about 15 minutes. Of course, with each learner, actual completion times may vary. Everyone has their own individual learning pace, but the average safe estimate is indicated for each course for about 15 minutes typically.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, the next question comes from Jonathan, and it's in regards to CPD certification. Jonathan is asking, what is the CPD certification and where does it apply? So we have a user that has been digging a little bit.
Yeah, no, good eye. It's also on our website too. We're very proud of this CPD certification. So basically, in a nutshell, CPD stands for Continuing Professional Development. And of course, our talent library, every single one of our courses meets the standards and is recognized by the CPD certification service for doing so. As for where it applies, there's not a particular country or countries where it applies. It carries international validity. Um, so it's also worth mentioning too that CPD is the world's largest independent accreditation organization. So yeah, so we're really proud of this designation, and I believe, Edini, we've had this for about 2 years now. So yeah, very very proud of that. But it's a good question.
Yes, we are very proud for this. Now, there's a question for me that I'm just going to pick up. Are there
Mhm.
any takeaways materials that learners can receive from the course? This is Mary asking. Yes, in fact, there are some takeaway tasks and development plans for a quick view of all the important information in the course. So where will you find them? So you will make them available for the learners. So I'm just going back to courses. And I will click the course that we added in my platform and click Edit Course. Now, if we go to Files, you see that there's the transcript, there's the SCORM file, of course, which cannot be downloaded. And there's also some takeaway tasks, which of course you can preview from here. Now, if this is something that you would like to provide to your learners, let me try that. It loaded. So let me just pull that up. So if this is something that you would like to provide to your learners, make sure to click the shared button. And once you do so, this will be available here from the table of content if a learner clicks on the files, but let me refresh so you will actually see it. Now, if I click on the files, they can see the takeaways, let's say, and of course, download. And of course, you can also add your own takeaways. So if you click the files button and click add upload files, you can drag and drop any material you would like your learners to download. I hope this helps. And let me get back to you, Nick. There's another question coming from you, from Jonathan again. You mentioned AI tools earlier. Are there
Mhm.
courses in this learning path on how to use these AI tools?
Yeah, Jonathan, we do somewhat. I'll explain. So we have a course called, if I remember correctly, AI powered recruitment, and in this course, it shows how uh, AI is being used in different areas of the recruitment process. But in this course, it also breaks down the different areas, such as sourcing candidates, assessing candidates, or even decision support analysis on candidates, to name a few. Um, and it does so by, yes, offering some examples of what tools to use and how it's used as a high level. So, yes, somewhat to answer your question there, Jonathan.
Great. Now, another question coming from Mike. I know you will be sharing the PDF with a breakdown of the courses on each phase, but what if we need further guidance? That's a very
Mhm.
interesting question.
Yeah, sure. So you can email us directly with all of your questions to contentlibrary@talentlms.com. The email address, if not already, will be posted in the chat. Or instead of emailing, we're also available for live content curation calls with yours truly to discuss your needs in depth and provide further guidance if needed.
Great. And I think we still have time for one more question that I'm just going to pick. It's a really how-to question.
Sure.
Mary is asking, you demonstrated how to enroll users one by one. Is there a way to do that en masse without using the learning paths? That's a great question. And I have two different options in mind to suggest, depending on what you would like to do. So if you're interested of assigning standalone courses, which would not necessarily consist one of the suggested learning paths, en masse to a group of people. What you can do is use the groups functionality. Now, just to give you a little bit of context, the groups is the feature that help us bring together a set of courses and assign it to a group of people. You can use groups to organize your courses by topic, by job role, or you can also organize your users through the groups and assigning the courses they should take accordingly. So all you have to do is just create a group, give that group a name. I would also recommend to check the auto enroll users to courses checkbox here, because that will definitely save you time. Once you add these users in the groups, the system will automatically assign the group courses to those people. So I'm just going to use an existing group. So let's go with this, the AI skills training. So once you create your brand new group, always start with the courses tab first. And with the add group button, you can start adding those standalone courses. And then you will click the users tab and click add group as long as you have that checkbox with the auto assignment. By the time you're adding users in your group one by one, they will be assigned automatically to those courses. If you haven't done that checkbox yet, use the mass actions and enroll users in group courses to sync the users with the group courses. Now, if you don't want to add the users one by one in the group, you can definitely use the import functionality and use the users to groups attributes to add and mass people into groups. Now, the second option that I have in mind, and especially if you're on a pro plan and higher, is to use the automations. So if you're not interested of, having a group of people assigned to certain courses, but you want, let's say, to assign course B once course A is completed, regardless who that user is, regardless what's their job role. So the only requirement here is the completion of a course. You can go to automations, and the automation we're looking for is this one, the on course X completion, assign a course Y. So basically, this is the automation that will help you build a chain between two courses. So the only requirement for a person to get the next course in line is to complete the course that you will be adding here. And of course, this will apply to all users, regardless the branch or the group they live in. But you can also filter it through the filter button in here if you want to build, brand specific or group specific automations. Now, if you would like to, dive deeper into this, feel free to send us an email to onboarding@talentms.com. So we will get back to you. And I think, that's a wrap, Nick, right? So as
Yeah.
Nick said, if you're interested of, having a further guidance with our content team, or if you're interested about exploring the Talent Library courses with that 14-day trial that I mentioned before, feel free to send an email to contentlibrary@talentlms.com. And our beloved Nick or any other member from the content team will get back to you definitely. And of course,
Yeah.
if you have any how-to questions, how the learning paths work, or how to manage those courses, anything how to related with the portal, feel free to send us an email to onboarding@talentlms.com. And of course, your comments matter. We're very excited to see your comments and your feedback in general about this webinar, any ideas you have for upcoming one. So feel free to do so by following the link posted by Yanis in the chat. And we hope you find this session useful. So whether you're nurturing people first leaders, building stronger HR foundations, or, supporting workplace culture, we feel that these ready-made journeys are here to power up your teams with the skills they need to thrive. Again,
Yeah.
thank you all for joining. Thank you, Nick, and thank you, Yanni, for being in the background, answering all of the questions.
Yeah. Great job, guys. And Thanks, Irini, for walking us through the Learning Pass. Really exciting edition as well. So thanks everyone for joining us.
And like always, until next time, happy training.